Hello, it's Philip Todd here. It's Thursday, March 9th. I'm with Westlake Realty, and I'm here to talk to you about how do we determine the purchase price of a house. What do you need to do to come up with that fair value? If you're going to buy, you're a buyer, and you're going to go ahead and make an offer on the property, what should that offer be? So the two items is, how do we determine the purchase price, and what should the offer be? Would that offer be the same value that we think the purchase price should be? Or would that offer be something a little bit less so that we have some negotiating room? So the first thing that would happen if you decide you're interested in the property, you've identified the property, you come to me or your realtor and say, we'd like to buy this home. What's the next step? Well, the next step would be, okay, we look at the value of the property that they're asking for, or the purchase price that they're asking for. And then we go out and look at the market. We create what we call a CMA, a comparative market analysis, looking at the quality of that house, the location of it compared to the other homes that are around it. What's the cost per square foot? What are the improvements in that house compared to the other homes in the neighborhood that we'll be using as a part of this CMA? Through that CMA, we'll determine what we think the fair market should be for the property today. It might be different than it was last June. Be aware of that, because it's going to be different. And so if we have enough information in the neighborhood of sales, it'll be easier for us to create a CMA and give you a good fair market value. If there's not a lot of sales, then we have to kind of play it by ear just a little bit and try and determine what's fair based on what's going on in the market value in the market now, and have prices reduced and so forth. Today, March 9th, raining outside a little bit. We don't have many properties at all on the market in the Westlake area. I'm talking about Westlake specifically because that's the area that we do a lot of business in. And in Natomas in general, there's just not as many properties on the market. So again, we come up with that value through the CMA. We determine what we think the price should be, the price that we might want to pay for it. We discuss it, we come up with a strategy. From that strategy, we then create what we think the offering price would be. Now, the offering price might be different than what we would like to purchase for. As an example, depending on what information I can get out of the selling agent in regards to the motivation of the seller, it'll help us to craft an offer that will best suit you, the buyer, and also suit the seller. And so we look to the details of why they're selling, where they're going, how soon do they need to be out, and all those kinds of things. And from there, we come up with what we think that offering price should be. We may find that seller needs a little bit of help with one thing or another, or they might be difficult to negotiate with and they're asking too much for the property and so forth. So we come up with an offering price with the idea that we will then be able to submit that offer and hope that we can come with a value that's fair for both the buyer and the seller, and that's the intent. So oftentimes that offer would be less than the quoted current listing price, and it also might be less than what the buyer thinks the purchase price should be when it's time to purchase. So we submit that offer then at a little bit lower price often. Now, if there's multiple offers on the property and it's a real hot property and it looks like it's priced very well, we may just simply have determined that we're going to pay at least asking price, and maybe in some cases more than the asking price. We don't see as much of that right now as we did last year. Saw a lot of that last year. I mean, people were paying $50,000 over asking and more in some cases. And so today you've got a lot more flexibility as a buyer, and coming up with that purchase price and what the offering price is it's a lot easier on you because you don't have to offer more generally. And it also is somewhat difficult because we have to make sure we come up with the right strategy based on the fact that there haven't been a lot of sales to use as comparables. So if you're ready to make an offer, make sure you consult with your real estate agent, go over this, ask him or her to create a CMA, comparable market analysis, for you, so you can evaluate that and determine what you really think the fair value would be from a more reasonable manner and a more professional manner, instead of just throwing a number at it. So I hope that this is helpful for you, and if it isn't, talk to your agent again, and you'll find those answers. You're welcome to call me. I'm Philip Todd with Westlake Realty here in the Westlake neighborhood in Natomas, and I look forward to doing anything I could to help if you have some questions. Make it a great spring.